So today we're going to cover a few of the ways that you could be raising money. We're going to talk about banks and grants and angels, venture capitalists. What can you do with your own money? Can you kind of multiply on that or leverage that? Or how else you could be growing? Well, welcome everyone to our continuous learning on how to expand your business to Canada and what you can actually do here today. Today I have a very special guest. I'll make a brief introduction at first for those of you that are not familiar with Startup Visa Services. We help with international business expansion. So if you have a business idea and you want to start developing it here in Canada, or if you have an existing business that you want to open up a satellite here in Canada, or if you have a business that you want to completely migrate here to Canada, we're not going to be talking about immigration. We're only going to be talking, how do you fund the business? Because one of the great things about businesses, you have a great idea, but you need money to grow that idea here in Canada. So my name is Slava Appel. You're going to see my bio. You're going to see Alexander's bio later under this video. So you can click through, go to our websites as well. My strength is in helping companies grow here in Canada. My previous background, I teach at universities, at colleges, at incubators, marketing programs. How do you market your business? And I also teach how do you raise funds, grow your company through non-dilutive or dilutive-based financing. So this is me, Slava Appel. I'm here to introduce Alexander. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Slava. Thank you very much for having me. And hello, everyone. Hopefully you'll find our conversation today useful and informative. My name is Alexander Morsink. I'm a co-founder and managing director of Equivesto. My specialty is focused around helping private companies raise capital from investors. So what my company does is it's an online investment platform for private Canadian businesses. So we help businesses become available to raise capital from investors. We help the businesses get ready to raise capital, preparing, pitch decks, information, all the different things that you might need to be ready for an investor. My background is in the finance and capital raising space. I previously worked in corporate banking and commercial banking at Scotiabank, and my specialty is helping raise capital, as I said, from angel investors, venture capitalists, and people like that in Canada.
Great. Now, do you require special licensing to do what you're doing? What makes you different from someone who says, hey, I know how to raise money for you?
That's an amazing question, Slava, and thank you for asking that. So in Canada, to help a private company raise investment and to be able to take a small piece of that investment as your payment, you actually need to be licensed. The whole process is regulated. It's regulated in each province separately. So in Canada, there are 13 provinces and territories. Each one has their own regulation when it comes to receiving investment into your business or investment being allowed into a business. The regulation of this, because when you offer investment, it's called offering securities. The regulation is done by the securities regulators. So here in Ontario, where we are based, and I believe, Slava, you are based with Toronto in the background, the regulator is the Ontario Securities Commission. So all of the regulators regulate this space, and Equivesto, my company, is licensed as something called an exempt market dealer. And essentially, that license allows us to help private companies raise capital from investors, both members of the general public in Canada and also higher net worth investors. I myself also am sub-licensed under Equivesto as something called a dealing representative and the ultimate designated person. But essentially, the long and short of it is there's lots of requirements and rules that you have to meet to be able to do something like this. Part of it is to both protect the companies so that the companies know who is investing and it's being done in a safe way, but also, of course, to protect the investors. So a lot of the work that we do is to make sure companies are ready and safe for investment from investors, but also to make sure that the investors themselves understand exactly what they're investing in. They understand the risks, they understand the potential benefits and positive things associated with investing in a business, and the whole transaction can be done in a safe and secure way.
Now, we met together through an angel investment network, through an angel investment group, and one question that everyone else had there You mean I cannot just bring the company to Canada, put up on my website, hey, I need investors. Hey, I'm selling shares. Anyone can just invest into my company. They need someone like you with your licensing. Am I correct in that?
You're correct. One of the biggest things to keep in mind is that going out to ask someone to invest in your business is called soliciting. And in Canada, directly soliciting people for investment into a private business is not allowed unless you are licensed. And really, the reasoning is with a private business, it's because it's not on a stock market, it's not a public company. There is not all sorts of information and disclosure made available to all investors. And so you, as a person just going out, you cannot simply ask people to come invest in your business because there's nothing showing, if it's a real business, it could be fraudulent. There's no sort of government controls or anything to protect the investors. So, for example, if you are a company coming to North America, to Canada, and you're interested in having people potentially invest in your business, you cannot just put it up on your website and say, everyone click here, to invest in me, give me your credit card number and I'll take the money. Or you can't walk around on the street saying, come invest, $5,000 in my business. And you certainly cannot run some ads on social media saying, oh, I have a new business, come invest in it. You would need to work with a licensed platform, a licensed exempt market dealer like Equivesto, to then be able to go and do that.
Great. So today we're going to cover a few of the ways that you could be raising money. One of them would be, hey, how can I just utilize social media, website? We're going to talk a little bit about crowdfunding. We're going to take a look at your platform as well, how you're doing it. We're going to talk about banks and grants and angels, venture capitalists. What can you do with your own money? Can you kind of multiply on that or leverage that? Or how else you could be growing? So let's start off with my favorite way, which is, let's think of it almost like free money, non-dilutive money, meaning you're not having to repay it, which is government grants that are available for businesses that are established here in Canada. You are not going out to investors. You are asking government to say, well, you're saying, I'm growing my company. I'm investing into people. I'm investing into marketing. I'm investing into my facilities. I'm investing into research and development. I'm investing into products. Is there any money that you can help me and support me? So Government of Canada has over 4,000 different grants to help you grow your business. We're not going to go through 4,000 or even 100 of them. There's not enough time for this video. That's going to be for later on one-on-one discussions. But some of the top ones, Government of Canada has a grant to help you hire a person, meaning you're taking a risk on that person and you can subsidize some of that risk, but for hiring, government has some money available for that. And here and in many other provinces, there is also a grant that allows you to train that employee on new software, on new process within a company. So you can get money that you don't have to repay because you are investing into your employees. There is also a grant if you're spending money on research and development of a new process, of a new product, of new software. Government of Canada is also going to rebate you money, and a lot of it that can come back to you for money that you're spending on your employees. So these are like top three. Yes, there's also marketing grants for you even to build out your own website. There is a government grant, and grant means free money for companies that deserve it. Let's move on to non-free, but money that you're now raising by bringing in potential shareholders. So Alexander, please tell me about Equivesto.
Perfect. So anytime you as a business are going out to raise money from external people and you're offering them the opportunity to invest in your business, essentially what you're doing is you're creating additional pieces of ownership in your company, and you're allowing external people to buy in and own small pieces of your business, or depending on how much you raise, potentially larger pieces, but to own pieces of your business as well. So with this, you're creating the opportunity for them to share in the potential earnings, the revenues, and the profits of your business in the future. What Equivesto does, what my company does, is we help private companies prepare to and get ready to approach investors and allow them for investment. There are a few different ways that we do this. And we'll talk more about the sort of angel investing later on. So I'll touch on that a little bit later. But the first and one of the most popular ways that we do that is through equity crowdfunding. So equity crowdfunding is essentially making your private business available to investment from everyone living in Canada. So it's possible for all Canadians to then come and invest into your business. Now, there are several steps involved in doing this. It's not enough time for us to cover them all here, but essentially part of what we do as the platform is we help you get ready for this process. So going through your company, making sure you have all the documentation in order, making sure the business itself is ready for investors to come in, making sure that you understand the value of your company and therefore how much of the company ownership you're going to give up to new investors who are coming in, all of the legal documentation that the investors would be signing, but also most importantly, the strategy involved in going out and inviting people to invest in your business. Because with a type of capital raise like this, really the success is driven by connections and knowing people and inviting them in. Even though, the Equivesto platform has thousands of investors on the platform, there's no guarantee that any of them would choose to participate. So a really key driver for success for any type of public raising or crowdfunding is really building a community of people, growing a network of people who would be interested in investing in the business. So we provide advice on that. We can connect you with potential specialist firms, marketing firms that can help you do that. And we get all of those things ready so that when you launch your campaign and you're now open for investment, you're ready to have a successful offering. So that is one of the key areas that we help companies with, raising capital that way.
Perfect. So this is for the company that is already in the position where they can have some kind of valuation on their company, meaning they can say for $1, how many of your shares I'm getting, or for $100,000, how many of your shares I am getting. What if they're pre-revenue? If they created something great, yet there is no valuation methodology, would you recommend them looking into crowdfunding to make sure that they can have a kickstart to their business?
That's a great question as well. So I do want to highlight the 3 different types of crowdfunding and the one that we do and some of the other ones and the stages that work best for those. So crowdfunding is a very broad term and essentially just means getting money from the crowd to fund something. The first type of crowdfunding I'll call donation-based crowdfunding. So there's a website called GoFundMe that's very famous and popular for this. And with donation-based crowdfunding, you're essentially just asking people to donate money, so give money to you with nothing in return to support some cause, business, or something that you're working on. So donation-based crowdfunding is often used for more charity causes as opposed to businesses. The next category is a rewards-based crowdfunding. So rewards-based crowdfunding, made famous by the company Kickstarter, is a type of crowdfunding where you're offering people something, a reward, in return for providing money to your business. Typically, rewards-based crowdfunding works very well for companies that have a physical product, and essentially they are pre-selling the product itself. So if your business is making a new type of bicycle or something like that nobody has yet, you could do a rewards-based crowdfunding selling the bicycle before the bicycle is even made. So you'd say, come on to my page, pay $500 or $700 to the business and pre-purchase this bicycle, and we will take 3 or 4 years. We'll go off, design it, make it, and then we'll send you the bicycle in exchange for the $500 that you've given us. So when you have a product-focused business, Kickstarter can be a very successful way to get some funds in, showing that there's a consumer interest, that people want to purchase your product. You can get the funds in to actually be able to go develop and begin producing your product. Keep in mind, the success of Kickstarter is really dependent on having a strong marketing campaign. You have to build the awareness for the product, find people who want to purchase it, and bring them in to participate. But Kickstarter can be very, very effective for businesses that are still in the idea stage. They haven't built their product yet, but they are product focused and they're consumer focused as well. So the product you're making is something that the wide general audience will most likely be able to purchase, be able to understand, and have interest in buying. The third type of crowdfunding we have already talked about a little bit, and that is the equity crowdfunding. So with equity crowdfunding, you are giving people the chance to buy a piece of your company as opposed to buying a product. Equity crowdfunding can be used for pre-revenue companies. So you don't necessarily have to have started generating any revenues for your business. We can still help you develop the value of your company at that early stage. But a key piece of equity crowdfunding is actually having an initial product being created. You need to have a demo version, a beta version, or something that we call a minimum viable product, a sample version of your product in order to be eligible for equity crowdfunding. And part of the reason for that is when going out to investors, finding people who want to buy a piece of your business, investors typically want to see that you have at least created something. If you just have an idea, written down on a napkin, that's usually not enough to convince an investor to invest in you. So we want to try to help you to build at least a demo version of the product. And then once you have that, then you become eligible for the third type of crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding.
And this is where our company also comes in. So if you do have that napkin-based idea and you need a support team to help you build out either the prototype or the minimum viable product, or to help you writing the business plan that will help you land more business clients and to get a better investment through the crowd from the crowd platforms, that's what we are there for. And we actually had clients that did crowdfunding, and it was the proof to government for the sake of startup visa, for the sake of business immigration, that they have viability, meaning people want their product, people see it as innovative product, and this product is going to thrive and survive here in Canada. So that could be part of your arsenal of helping and support to show that you have a very good and strong application when it comes to that. So let's move on to the next topic. Part of startup visa and part of, for those companies that are here in Canada, there is a path of receiving letter of support or a letter that signifies that you have a great business idea and people want you here in Canada, that is coming from venture capitalists and from angel investors. And both of us have met through an angel investment network. So can you please speak a little bit about how do you raise money from angels?
That's a great point, Slava. It is very important to have the right pieces in advance to be able to raise from angel investors. So angel investors are essentially higher net worth, wealthy individuals who are interested in making sizable investments into early stage companies. They are called angels because typically they invest at among the earliest stages into a business, and they're coming in to help save the business and make it successful. So I think that's why they're called angels. Angel investors typically invest at the earlier stages, even before venture capitalists, and usually alongside or nearly alongside equity crowdfunding rounds, so earlier stages for your business. Typically, raising capital from angel investors means you as the company have to go out and find where these individuals are and then be able to pitch them or talk to them about your business and try to convince them to invest in you. An important thing to keep in mind, and that's why it's great to have a conversation with Slava or with myself, is because angel investing and venture capital investing has become more standardized internationally, there's certain expectations that the angels will have and information they will look for from you as a company when you come to pitch them. So it's important that when you're thinking about raising capital from angel investors, you prepare the right things. You'll need things like a pitch deck, a business plan, and a capitalization table ready so that you can present these documents to the angels and they can learn more about your business. Slava can definitely help, prepare some of those documentation. In terms of your stage of the business and when it's the right time to raise from angels, typically you're going to want to at least have started creating that product or service and be approaching the stage when you can begin to generate some revenues to be the right fit for angels, but there is some range there. With angels in Canada, typically angels will meet through angel networks. They'll meet in groups that get together once a month to hear about companies that are pitching. companies reach out to the group and say that they would like to participate and raise capital. So you, as the founder, if you're approved, you can then go and virtually pitch the angel group. If there's interest from the group, then the group will begin the process of learning more about the business and deciding if they want to invest in you. Do you want to expand a bit more, Slava, on your experience as an angel investing?
Sure. Not only I am an angel investor, so I participate in multiple angel groups looking for those great ideas to invest in, but I'm also the person that prepares companies like yours, the listeners, that are going to be presenting. So we train you, how do you properly present to the angel group in order for you to get that investment. But we do that together. So what's good about Alexander's in our company, he would help you with the financial aspect, the data room, where angels would trust any of the findings in all the documents. And I'll ask you in a second to expand on that. What do? We help you with the marketing plans. We help you with your business planning. We help you in getting the right wording in front of the right angels with the right sequencing to make sure that you're hitting all the checkpoints that they're looking for. What I am looking for when I'm an angel investor, when I'm investing into companies, could be different from others. And by participating in multiple groups, we figured out what is the right formula in order for you to get an audience, in order for you to get that investment. So let's talk a little bit about the backend, the data room. What are you helping there with?
Perfect. And yeah, there's certainly a lot of information that companies need to have ready in advance before going out to raise from angels. As a licensed exempt market dealer, one of our requirements is to complete a process called due diligence, or for us, know your product, on any company that we make available for investment on our platform. That sounds all very complicated, but essentially what we have to do is we have to do a review of the company itself, make sure that all the documents are put together in order and are verified before the company can go out and actually approach people for investment. So where we help companies is outlining the different documentation that the company needs to have before speaking to angels. We help the company prepare documents if they're missing any, and we put the documents all together in a location called a data room that is a very easy to access place for angels to come and see when they decide that they want to get more information about a business. In terms of our process, we complete our due diligence process over a few weeks, and then we actually take some of the information and, the pitch decks and the marketing materials also prepared by Slava, and we turn that into a private page. So we create essentially a web page dedicated to your business, and attach to that page private links and access to additional documents and more information that investors would want to know. What this does is this provides more comfort and security for investors. So if you have all this information prepared, and then, for example, you go to pitch York Angels, the group that Slava is part of, or the Niagara Angel Network, the group that I am a part of, then not only will the investors see your pitch, but after the pitch, when they want to get more information, they'll be able to go straight to that page. They'll see, okay, this information has already been verified by Equivesto, and here are all the documents attached with additional details that I might be looking for.
So in my experience, in a short period of time previously, I was put in charge to review 295 pitches to an angel group to figure out which one of them had the right information in order for them to proceed and get to an interview stage where someone can actually listen to them live. Out of 295 applications, I found that only one person has submitted proper information. And that's where exactly, Alexander, you come in. You're the one that is organizing their financial backend data so they are presentable so they can get to the next stage. Am I correct in that?
100%. That's one of the things that a lot of founders sometimes overlook. You're so focused on building your business, which you should be. you're wearing, I like to call, the business founder hat. And when you're thinking about the investors and the information that they're looking to see, it might be very different than what information matters to you as the person running the business. So it's important to try to switch hats and put on the investor hat to think about the things an investor would care about and to make sure those are prepared and ready so that when you approach the investor, you can easily answer their questions. With investing in private companies and raising capital from investors, even though it feels very formal and there's a lot of steps and structure, at the end of the day, it does become almost a person-to-person relationship. And so making that process easy, making it feel comfortable, making the investor feel like you really understand them and you're able to provide the information in a way that makes sense to them, will make them feel more comfortable with you and your business.
Well, let's walk away from a second from dilutive-based financing, because if you're going to angels, if you're going to crowdfund, if you're looking to venture capitalists, someone is becoming your partner. They're giving you money, they're becoming part of your shareholders. They may even get a board seat. There are other ways for you to raise money. One of them would be banks. Yes, you could be new to Canada, but banks are offering loans. Canada is one of the best places to get loans. We have interest rates that are pretty low. I was dealing with some of the countries where interest rates are 15%, 20%, and even higher. Here they are typically around 5 to 8%, depending on the risk level. But also, besides just getting a straight loan, there is something called factoring, meaning if you have receivables, meaning if you're expecting money from someone, they already said, hey, here's a contract. Yes, we acknowledge your invoice. You can factor, meaning you can sell off a portion of that invoice to the bank, or you can borrow against that invoice from the bank. Or if you brought in here to Canada inventory of products, you can also borrow money against that existing inventory. Again, that's not dilutive financing. It allows you to get access to the capital faster, so you can rotate it, so you can put it towards marketing, so you can put it towards additional employees, unlocking some of the value, especially if it is just inventory sitting there, unlocking it ahead of the time. So outside of that, and we're trying to keep it to a half an hour mark with you, there are many other ways for you to raise funds for your company. There are many different ways for Canadian companies that are here. There are many ways for international companies to expand here. What we are asking you to do is get connected with us. Figure out what is the right strategy. Figure out what you want to achieve, how fast, and we're here for you. We are here to help you with the strategy for both expansion, both internationally and within Canada. Well, at this point, my name is Slava Appel. I hope that you're going to hit that subscribe button so you can get more of the videos just like that. And we'll be sharing information on startup visa services, on our company, and on Equivesto as well below. Please leave your comments if you want to have additional questions answered for you in the future. Alexander, thank you very much for participating in this. Any last thoughts?
Thank you very much, Slava. It was great being here and being able to talk with all of you about how we can help. Certainly comment below and have a look in the description for more information about where you can contact Equivesto and how we can help your business.
Thank you. Have a great day.